Good morning and good afternoon perhaps for you, or good evening. This is JP with Learn Brizy Page Builder. First of all, apologies. I'm probably going to do this a million times with every video that I don't always have time to update this channel between the official channel over at Brizy and here and then other work. Things get very hectic, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best and keep you guys in the loop of what's going on. So it's 2020, the first month already down the drain. And we are in February, and it's actually leap year. I only discovered that when? On Friday. It's a leap year, so we've got 29 days in this month. In this video, we're going to make a full site, a one-page website, and we're making this site over here, which is a catering site. And this is as good as basic as it gets. And I quickly want to say a few words regarding that. I have in the last year, especially because of mobile, where the focus is increasingly towards mobile displays, I don't want to use the word dumb it down, but I've taken out a lot of the bling bling and the glitter in my sites. I barely use animations now. Parallax like this, I've even stopped parallax because I just don't think parallax has that magnificent impact on a cell phone. I know there's still a lot of people, and especially people crying out for Brizy, where is the parallax on my Safari device? I know that. But for me, I have found going for minimalistic design in the last year works really well. And it also translates very well into a cell phone. So you will see that the stuff I'm going to do this year, I'm not going to do mind-blowing, overlapping animations, feel like you are on a roller coaster at the local fair. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to give you, where did I go now? I'm going to give you clean, good designs. And you see, there's one animation that I brought in there. And with that, impactful. This word impactful, Google tells me there's no such a word as impactful, but I was watching some American TV over the last week with the coronavirus, and I heard them use this word impactful a lot. So I'm using this word as well. If we keep using it, we'll be forced to recognize this word soon. Let's have a quick look then at the site. We're going to make this hero image here at the top. Very simple, very nice. And then over here, maybe something about this catering business just to give it some virtual value. And then we're going to have 3 services. So over here where it says our services, we will connect it to this block over here. So when you click on it, we'll scroll down, entree snacks, health options, and then great selection. And for each one, we will have a PDF to download, what you can do with these guys. And then some, testimonials. And we're not even going to put an image in here. This is a very clean, minimalistic design. This is where I think parallax works very well as a reveal. Oh, what is that? And then over here, Chef Handsome Bundy. We're going to bring him in, and then a form there for people to request. I'm not even sure banquet, that's banquet. Right. And then some social media here at the bottom. Look also at what we don't have here. We don't have a header at all. This is for a very basic catering service, and this will be particularly used and useful when you have a one-man show. Let's say you are busy with your catering service, and when you are this one-person show, it's very difficult sometimes to market too much because you cannot handle all that work. So you just want people to find you, like the yellow pages, but at the same time, you don't want to overmarket yourself because you are very happy by being just a one-person show. You don't want to expand too much. Great. What are we going to be using for this? We will be using Brizy Free. So everything in here will be done with Brizy Free and the WordPress version. In this year, I'm also going to give you much more cloud tutorials so that you can think of how to make sites within cloud. The theme that I will be using is also Suki, the free Suki theme, and I'll put links for all of these in the description below. The reason I really like using Suki for Brizy is because there are some features in Suki that integrates very well with Brizy, and they just make my life a lot easier. Also, it's very difficult. I get this, and I'm pretty sure I get this comment all the time, or people will give me a private text message and ask me, which theme do I recommend? I recommend about 10 or 20 themes that I think are good, and which one do I use? Oh boy, for that I cannot tell you because every time I work on a new one, I use a different theme. My favorites at this moment for Brizy is Astra and then again, what is this one? Suki. And then also I've really started to like Neve, because Neve has got some very good starter sites. Then my other favorite themes are Page Builder Framework, Ocean WP, and Bloxy. I really, really like Bloxy. And now I have to think there's one more. Okay, anyway, so there you go. Just for your reference, I'm using Bluehost. And you're like, oh, Bluehost, yeah, you're the worst thing ever on earth, right? I know. But as you can see here, the reason I use Bluehost because of the package that I use, I can host unlimited domains and unlimited subdomains. So this is very great for the tutorials I do. And I have to say, I'm okay with it. The speed is fine. I'm not running a massive e-commerce site and a blogging site. These are for the tutorials and they work perfect. I create my subdomains, one-click install of WordPress. Ta-da! Beautiful for me. Last two things I want to draw your attention to are the images that I use. I'm a subscriber to FreePic, and this is not affiliation. I don't get anything from them. I'm just telling you where I get most of my images from. Having worked with a lot of stock sites, you get extraordinary good-looking photos, and I have a few of them I belong to. But when it comes to all-round get you everything, your FreePic is just the one that I love to use, and I think their prices are competitive, very well priced. And if you check them out, they often have like 40% discount promotions that they run regularly during the year. So in this case, if I type in catering and I search for which is our catering website, you're going to see a lot of stuff happening here. You're going to see logos, you're going to see menus, you're going to see artwork. And if you go up here to the full resources, you're going to see they have vectors, photos, even Photoshop files and icons. So if I put it on photos here and I search again, you're probably going to see some of the photos that I had used. Let me see, yeah, like this one over here. This is one of the images that I had used. High resolution, good images. I love using FreePic. They make my life much easier. For icons, I have two. One is connected to FreePic called Flat Icons, but in this tutorial, I had gone with the Noun project. Again, links in the descriptions below. The Noun project over 2 million curated icons that they have over here. So if I type in again catering, you're going to see a plethora of icons that pop up here. Guys, none of these are free. Well, they do have free options, but that is for non-commercial use. At the end of the day, none of them are free and they shouldn't be. It kind of peeves me off when I see people online saying, hey, where can I get this for free? Where can I get that for free? And in the next post, they say, how much should I charge for making websites to my clients? That's a little bit, I don't like it. So I want to espouse this and I want to promote that if you can pay, you should reward artists. And that's what I do. I mean, if you can make websites for free to other people, then sure, you would probably want to use things for free. But if you are making websites to make money, you should also consider the people that are giving you the tools. And I mean, Brizy is already free. Suki is already free. So stop complaining about the things that aren't free and don't be so stingy, man. Okay, so here again, this is the logo that I had used. You get PNG and I love it, SVG. And since Brizy now also has SVG, great, awesome freaking feature. Okay, so this is all the resources I had used. And just here in my panel, this one I'm going to use is the Brizy 2020, which is going to be the catering site that we will be building out. And let's close this dashboard and move this page for me over here onto my other screen. Time to rock and roll. Let's do some house cleaning first. And the first thing I'm going to do is go here to posts. Going to get rid of this annoys the living daylights out of me, but there it is. Right, so the post, and let's go to pages as well. And if you hear any noises, there are two dogs at my feet. And the window is open so the cats will come in and out. Let's load our theme. We go to Appearance Themes and bring in Suki. Let's add new up here. Right, and then Suki. Install. Activate. Next, let's bring in Brizy. We go to Plugins, Install Plugins. And what is this? Oh, this comes with our good friend. Are they activated? So let's deactivate them first. This is Bluehost. Thank you, Bluehost. And then delete them. Yep, be gone. And then add new. Say hello to my good friend Brizy. And Brizy, I saw, just got 60,000. Let's install that. And then activate. And then it will tell you here, hey, come on, give us some smiles. And then you go and give them a rating up there. I'm going to make them sweat a little bit more, guys. I already did. Okay, right. So what have we got here? Everything. I'm going to create my page. So let's go to pages and add new. And simply we are going to be calling this page home. Home. And then click on publish. Now, since WordPress 5 came out, when you click on publish, it's a second publish. And that is to make sure, they call it a pre-publish check, that you don't publish something you didn't want to publish. I'm kind of a cowboy when it comes to this. You know, I'm that kind of person that if I worked for a company that were working on secret projects and they were to post it and they say, okay, put it on the post, but don't publish it yet. I'm the kind of guy that people will write on the forums, hey, we just saw there was this post, and then when we went to check again, it's gone, but it seems there's a secret project coming. I'm that kind of cowboy. Yeah, very irresponsible. So I don't like the second publish. This publish things drives me a little bit nuts. So when you get to the second publish, you will see here at the bottom, there's a checkbox. Always show pre-published checks. I'm going to deselect that. And it's actually not useful because I'm making only one page. Before I start editing, I'm going to go to my settings over here, and then I'll go to reading to make sure that WordPress knows what is my home page. So go to home page and select a static page for my home page. I want that page that I just created home to be the one. All right, some little bit more of housekeeping is going to be my media over here. Click on media, my library. And currently I have no media in here, but here is my media. So I'm going to click on that and drag it in. And you can see this site, what is great about it, I think there's like 5 images here. And then we have a site icon. And then after that, we have the quotation marks and I think the signature. And that's it. Not even many images. And if you optimize them well, you're going to have a super fast site wherein clients will be able to reach this person very, very easily. Let's quickly get our site ready first. If I click now on our home page and we go to the front, we will just get this normal layout and everything here. We're not going to use any of this, but let's quickly work here at our data that will appear for our site information. Go back to Brizy Cloud. I could have just clicked on customize. And then under appearance, let's go to customize because all of that is done in the theme customizer. Right, so global settings, site identity, this is where we want to be. I've already set this up, Brizy 2020, catering one page, Brizy free. And I've set all of this up, and I'm going to change this. I'm going to say Brizy free catering, one page catering, so that I can, and then I'm just going to put here 2020. And then for select site icon, going to my media library and my site icon over here, add that, and then publish. And you can see there, that teeny little site icon is already there. One thing though about the site icon, I just quickly want to tell you, and I'm working in Chrome here, so I'm not working today in Blisk, which I like to use. I don't know why. I usually work Blisk and I just realized I'm in Chrome. Nothing wrong with Chrome, I love it. What I want to say is that many people like to go for dark themes for their browsers nowadays. So you have to think of that when you use a site icon. If you use, for example, something that is black here, and somebody views that on a black theme, they're not going to see it. So then you will probably need to put the black on a white background. Just take that into consideration. Let's close out here. And now you can see it's updated here, the name of my site, Brizy free one page catering. It's also updated up there. If we go to the front end, there is Brizy free one page catering. And we still want to work on this page. Let's just click here on edit page, and this will take us into our home page. We can edit it from here, and we are over here. If you are going to be working with the theme, so like if you want to use the themes, headers and sidebars and footers, you will have to do all those decisions here or wherever those themes customization comes in, or over here under the customizer. But because I'm going to create this page completely within Brizy, I'm not going to touch anything here. It becomes totally irrelevant. There's one thing that I almost never touch on when I make these tutorials, and I want to bring it in over here, is the featured image. Now, the reason why the featured image, even for every page you make, is so important is that in case you or somebody else shares this on Facebook, especially on Facebook, it's going to take an image from your site and show that on Facebook. The featured image usually, and I say usually because Facebook and all of this can sometimes be a little finicky. They sometimes lose a few of their marbles. You set your featured image over here, and this is how you control which image will display on Facebook. Now, the reason I'm focusing on this is I want to show you something very important. So let me just see if I can. Okay, I'm not going to be able. You see over here, I'll show it to you later, bigger, 1200 at 630 pixels. Normally what I had done, because I'm creating thumbnails for YouTube and everywhere else, I go with the HD display, which is 1920 at 1080 pixels. The problem is Facebook does not use that for featured images display when you bring in a link. This is the dimensions that they use, 1200 at 630. So you can write that down. So I would recommend that when you are making something for Facebook, you can do one of two things. One, use this layout, 1200 at 630, and you will know your entire image will always display on Facebook. Or put it here in the middle. Put all your content in the middle. If you have writing, text, or anything, put it in the middle. Even if you have maybe people in a photo, so that the left and the right becomes white space in case that doesn't work. So let's say set featured image. And there we go. This is not going to display on my site at all. But if somebody were to share this on Facebook, at least it will display over there. Update our work. And now let's start rocking and rolling. To do that, you click here, Edit with Brizy. As you know, Brizy is rolling out many features. And with the updates coming, there are small little features rolling out, and I will try to bring them in each of these tutorials and use them so that you can say, oh, I didn't know that. And truly, I'm often, when I work with Dimitri, says, oh, you can do this, like, oh, really? And I work with this a lot. So it's great to learn these little tips and tricks. So even if you're a seasoned old dog and you think, I know Brizy so well, in my day I still used to do this, then you can still watch. I mean, these small little things, they make life so much sweeter. One thing I quickly want to touch on first before we go into the styling, and it's set at overpass. Now, usually over here, I will bring in all my own colors, and you simply click on something over here and you bring in your own color. But guess what? The site that I'm showing you today is so basic and so simple that I'm just going to stick to these overpass colors. The one thing that I will change is I need to bring in a font that I will be using. So if we click just here on our styling, you can see these are the fonts that come preloaded. Our body text is going to be our good old friend Montserrat. But for our heading text, I'm going to use a very complicated name, Cormorant Garamond. Add new font. Click on Google Fonts, and then you search here, let me say, Cormorant. Ugh, am I typing? Cormorant. And then you will see, once you type in Cormorant, there are variations of that. Infant, SC, uncase. I think there's one more upright, and unicase, not upcase. I'm going to use this one, Cormorant Garamond. So click on that and then click Continue. Done. And if we go now just to check our fonts again, you will see it appears here at the top. So all those that you load from Google will appear over here. Right, let's do it. Let's bring in our first block, start building your page. Click here on the plus, and we are going to build everything from scratch, Sally. So add a new blank block. And what we do over here is delete one of these. Now, I just want to tell you also one thing that you have to consider, and it's something that if you go up here to your block, settings, you have control over the width of this block here, like so. The problem with this one currently in Brizy is this is not a responsive feature. So if you set that over here to 70%, which makes this content area narrower, and later you go to tablet, it's also set at 70%. You will see you don't have control. There's nothing there to make that 100% or wider. So that is especially a problem if you come to mobile later, which your real estate becomes so squashed that your heading won't look any good. So though I like this too for constraint purposes, I don't use this slider that much anymore. It's something that we can look at, and I'll discuss it with Dimitri if it's possible that this one can become responsive, because that would be pretty nice. Right. And then the next thing is, for your information, you don't need a container. This blue one here is our column. You don't need this container. You can delete it, and now you have no blue line, and then you can just bring in your elements just like this. But the same thing that I just showed you, what a container allows you to do is to space everything within that. So when you go down to your tablet and you go down to your mobile, you have more control over that. So I like to use at least a minimum of one container. You can choose. You can use a row container or a column. Right, so I'm just going to delete this, start again, and then let's get working. Right click with your mouse gives you these options, and you can see up here it says column. So you know you are within the column, and then over here, delete. Then we have this one column over here. The first thing I'll do is give my block a background. Up here is the settings, go to background, and then click on image. And in our media library, we go to our first one over here. Select. And I'll drag in a little bit space over here, click drag, click hold and drag. Just to give us a little bit more. And to give you more contrast when working with text, I'll apply an overlay to this one to make it a little bit darker. Go up here to settings, colors, and it's set to overlay. I'm going to use this one here. Well, JP, I can see almost nothing. Yeah. So we take it down to around 80%. We can even take it down to 70%. Just drag this opacity slider and drag it down there. It doesn't need to be perfect. This is one thing that I've been trying to teach myself last year, because I'm that kind of person. I want something at 70%. And then I started thinking, what's the difference between 70 and 69? Well, at school, it used to be the difference between an A and a C. A B and a C. Yeah, below 70 was a C and over 70 was a B. So it's a huge difference when I was at school. But for website design, it really doesn't make a difference unless you need to match it with something else on the page. So we've applied that overlay. It's looking good. Let's bring in text, and I'm going to bring in my first text element, which is going to be my above title header. Heading. Let's use the word heading instead. What I do in this case, I'll click on it, and the first thing I'll do is click here on color and put it on white so that I can see what I'm working with. And now we need to bring in some useless text just to serve as placeholder, but doesn't have any real function. And that, of course, is our good friend lorem ipsum. I use loremipsum.io, which is another form of generator. Open new tab and then add that. And to give me something to work around with, I click there on generate. It gives me a few paragraphs. From here, I can just grab a few things. I'm going to grab this. Now, the problem we have at the moment in Brizy is that this is in, normal. There's a cap, and then there's small letters over here, but I want this in all caps. And that's going to be a problem because it doesn't work like that in Brizy. So either I will have to go type it, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for a shortcut. I'm opening my Word document and I'm going to paste it, Control V, Command V, and it's going to take all the formatting from the website. Now, once you paste something in Word, when this happens, before you do anything else, just press Control or Command on your keyboard. And then it will open this, and then you press T. And T, I don't know what it stands for, but it clears all formatting like so. And then you get the normal one. Then I'm going to select them all and then Shift F3. That will give me all caps and Control Copy. I know this is something that would be nice to have that all caps feature in Brizy. Let's go back to our page over here. I'm going to triple click to select all the text and then paste it. So you can see now it's nice all caps. Let me center it already. And now I'm going to give it a style, typography styling. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to call this above title. That's where it will appear. Now I will go and apply styling to this above title the way I want it to be, but I'm not going to do it over here. The reason I'm not going to do it over here is because I can do it over here under styling, and then when I make changes in the future, it will just apply globally. I don't need to go and make those changes individually to each and every text. So over here, I look for that style name above title, click on it, and the first one I'm going to do is click on Montserrat to change that. Then I think we're going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to letter spacing, put it to 3 already. And it's currently on bold. I'm going to put it, let's say normal. Yeah, I'm going to put it on normal. I like there at normal. The line height. Now, I always, when I'm working with a title, take it down to 1. So line height, if I increase it, you will see there's more spacing. And if I hover over it, you will see there's more space added in the top and at the bottom. But I'm going to put that at 0 so I don't have that spacing. Right, so that's my above title. In the future, when I bring in any text and I put it on above title, it's going to keep these settings. Now we bring in our main heading. And sometimes, when we use words, we get confused between header and heading. When working with a website, the header is always this part at the top where you have your menu and your navigation links. So when we talk about the rest of the page, we try to keep it to headings. That way we don't get confused unless you talk like about a paragraph header. Let's bring in a new element, click over here, click and drag the text, and there where you see that thick gray line, drop it over there. Click on it, and I'm going to put it on white first. Triple click on it now, and for this one, I'll type in all function catering services for you. Right, and then click on it, go to T, and we put it here on heading 1. Now, this is the default heading 1 that comes in. Of course, this is not the one we want to use. Go to our stylings options over here and look for heading 1. Put it on Cormorant Garamond. And I'm going to put it on, okay, yeah. I want to put it on italics. Italics is not going to appear over here. It will appear here. When you click on it, you see there's the I. It's going to click here on the side, and then everything will become italics. Right, so let's go back here, heading 1. Let's see where we are now. Okay, so first line height, let's put that down there. And the letter spacing, I'm going to put on 0, so it's normal. And then I'm going to increase the size. Now, there's a few ways you can do this. One is the up and down arrows like this. And another cool one is to click in here and then the scroll wheel on your mouse. You can just scroll up, see like that. And once you stop, like if I go, let's say I go here to 120. Once you stop, it will take a short second or so, and then it will jump to the size that you have set it. So let's reduce it. I'm going to put it down at 110. Right, and I think I don't want bold. I'm going to put it on medium. Medium, let's see, normal. Yeah, I like normal. Normal is better. Good. And there we go. So now I click here and I put it in the center, and that's exactly the way I would like it to look. It's starting to look good already. Now the next part is we bring in a button. So click here on Add Elements. Button is over here, click and drag. And where you see that gray line, you will see there are 2. If you put it on this one here, it will be outside the column. I want to keep it inside the column. So to undo that, you can go here to the bottom, and you will see here in this toolbar, there's an undo function over here. Learn the shortcut key to save you a lot of time. If you're a shortcut user, I know some people just don't like shortcuts. Like my father, he rather will go hunting around the page for 5 minutes, and he's very happy with that. So Control Z, and it's gone. Let's bring in that button again and drop it there. Let's click on the button and double click on the text, and we call this our services. And to get it in caps, you have to activate the caps lock on your keyboard to get it in caps. Let's go over here. That's the button settings. And the first thing I'll do on file is I'm going to click here on this one that will give you the no fill. corner, you can see it's set at sharp corners. Don't be fooled. It's not a sharp corner. If you click here on, you will see it's set at 2 pixels. I don't want no pixels, so I put it down to 0 for that. And then for the border, I click it slowly to the left and I give it 1 pixel. And then over here for the size, and I will, before I get to the size, well, let's do that now. Let's give here a little bit more of height. A little bit more. Good. And then I'm going to remove the icon. So I go over to icon and I click here on the removal of that icon. Let's go next to typography then, and you will see it is set at button. I can start making the changes here again, but good housekeeping, do not do it here. Go over here to styling and look for button, which is at the bottom. Click on the button and we're going to put it on Montserrat. And let's increase letter spacing to 3. And I think 15 is fine. Bold, no. Let's put it on normal. I think let's put it on medium instead. Medium looks good. And then line height. You will see there's a little bit more space at the bottom than at the top. If you don't see it, perfect for you, but I see that. And that I'm going to remove by reducing that line height to 0. And if I need now more space at the top and the bottom, just click here again, go to the button options, and over here where you have the size, you go to height and you can increase it. Right, something like that. 21. What's the difference between 20 and 21? 1 pixel, you say. Next, let's look at our color options here. And you can see you have control over the background, text, border, and the shadow. And this is for the default state. And over here, that's for the hover state. All I want to change here is the border color. So I click on border and I select white. And then I'm going to click on hover, this little tag here. And what I want for it to do is when I hover over it, the background becomes white. My text becomes this second swatch from the left. And the border, you can either remove it, but I'm just going to put it on white. Let's click outside and see how that looks. Personal preference, you see when you hover over it, it takes a little bit of time for that hover effect to kick in. I like it to be a little bit faster. You can do that by clicking on the button, click on settings, and then here under more settings, go to advanced. And you will see here it says hover transition. Currently, it says 50 milliseconds. That's not correct. It should be 500 milliseconds. There's 1,000 milliseconds in a second. So what I'll do here is I'll reduce this to 20. Around 20. You can type it in. Okay, 19 is fine. You will see it's now much quicker, more abrupt. It doesn't look good though. And if you think this looks good, you need to spend a little bit more time on designing. The problem that's here is this button that's way too close to this massive heading. And to give this more of an organized feel, we're just going to add space here. And I love doing that by bringing in the spacer. Go up here to add elements. Click on the spacer, drag it in until you see that gray line between the two and drop it. And let's see. Yep, it looks good. Let's reduce a little bit of this header. We don't want such a big hero image. So I click and drag. Let's put that then on 100. Somewhere on 100. And over here at the bottom as well. Okay, let's put this at 120, give it a little bit more space at the bottom. Right. No, let's give it a little bit more. Change my mind. Perfect. Let's save our work. You go here to the bottom in the right-hand corner and you click on Update. Again, your shortcut key, Control-S, Command-S. Now we go and look at tablet. And you can access your tablet view over here. Go to mobile view and you can have tablet and mobile. On the other hand, you can also use the shortcut Control Command minus on your keyboard. So if I say Control minus on my keyboard, you will see it moves down to the tablet. If I say Control minus again, it moves into mobile. Control plus moves up like this, and I can just keep cycling through this until I get very dizzy. This is our desktop, Control minus, let's go to tablet. And now you can make changes here that will only reflect on your tablet. As I'm looking at this, I think in general it looks good. I like it up there, I like it here, but I think, of course, our header is too small. I want to have the same. Now, what many people are tempted to do is to click in here, go to T and start making changes. Don't do that. Go over here to styling, go to heading 1 because that one is heading 1. And then over here, you will see, there you go. Tablet, click on it, and you make your changes from here. So this is 38. I'm just going to double that, and that gives me 76. Let's see how that will play. Very good. And then line height, I'm going to reduce. Voila, that was super quick, right? Do the same for these guys. Click on this one. Again here, go to styling, and this is above title. Click here, and I'm going to put it on medium. No, we put it on normal. And let's increase the letter spacing to 2. And my line height, I'm going to put down again here. And then we have to do the same for the button. Click on the button, go to styling, and at the bottom, button, and it is on Montserrat. Button, make sure you click here. Let's put it on medium, and then increase that also to 3, and I'm going to reduce the button size. Ah, I like it. And line height, now here the line height plays a big role. Let me see if I can make changes here. Size, okay, I can do that. So over here, height. And I'm also going to increase my width. Good. Let's add a little space. A bit more. Okay, more at the top. Great. Nice. I like it, Peter. And then Control minus to go to our mobile. Same thing here. Let's start at the top. Go to our styling, and that was above title. Remember to click here. And then we're going to, again, put it on normal. Line height reduced to 0. And then letter spacing, I'm going to increase to 2. Size is great. Next one, you don't even have to click there. You can just click here on heading 1. Make sure you click on the cell phone. And we're going to put this, let's see what happens at 48. 48 is good. Reduce it, reduce it down. And I'm going to put this on normal. Yep. And then I'm going to click here on the spacer. I want to reduce this space. Click on the button. I don't have to click. I keep saying clicking, but you don't have to do that. You can just go here to styling, click here. Let's put it again on normal. Let's give it more space, 1. And I'm going to reduce that to 13. Let's give it more space. Put it on 2. And I'm going to reduce the line height. Click on my button, go to my settings over here. And sorry, I'm not even giving you the values. I'm looking at it and I'm dragging until I see it looks the way I want it to look. So what have we got here? 31 pixels for the width and 19 pixels for the height. And this is one of those things I mentioned earlier. I'm trying to get away from that. I want it to look exactly like this and use my eye more, because how things look are far more important than that exact number. Click here at the top, drag in some space. Click at the bottom. Let's add some space here as well. Okay. Let's go up, Control plus. I'm just going to change this one also to normal. So that is our heading 1. I have to click here first. That's what happens, normal. Okay, there we go. Control plus, and we are here. Let's update it. And then click here on preview. And there's our header. If you want to test for your responsiveness, go to your keyboard and press F12. And this works on all your devices, and you will see up here. The first time you do it, it will look like this. Don't let all of these things scare the living daylights out of you. This is just a lot of developer stuff for people who are interested in that. What you are interested in here is to go up here where it says toggle device toolbar. And really all browsers have a function like this. And when you click on it, it's going to give you options over here to choose from pre-made sets. So you have your Galaxy S5. I wish they would update this a little bit. And you have iPhone X. So let's put it on iPhone X. And then you will see it squashes it a little bit more. So you will need to reduce it, or you can decide that you are okay with this. This is one of those decisions that is the great thing, according to the matrix about free will, is that you can make your own decisions. If we go, for example, to the iPad Pro, it looks like this. And the iPad Pro in this, you can see over here, you can have the rotate function. Right, so this is your, what is this one? This is your landscape view, and this will be your portrait view. Right, so you can go through here to test them, and you can also click up here on responsive, and then you set your own settings in here. Right, so get used to doing this. For example, especially on the iPhone X, you will see that maybe you need to reduce the size of your text a little bit if this bothers you. I'm going to go for the fact that I'm not concerned and it doesn't bother me that much. So I'm happy with that. And in fact, that you almost stands in your face. Yeah, I'm just trying to rationalize it. To get out of here, you just simply press again F12 on your keyboard and you're back on the front end display. Give yourself a pat on the back. We've done a good job with the header. Let's get into the rest. Going to close the front end. I'll keep open my lorem ipsum in case I want to use it later. Add a new blank, click here. And I'm going to right click and delete that column, only work with this one column. I want to bring in quotation marks, quote marks, and I can do that with the icon. Click here, bring in my icon, click on the icon, and then over here, if you click on it, you will choose glyph, type in quote, and you will see that. Now, this is a catering website, so the problem I have with these quotation marks, I feel they're a little too harsh. They have these square edges. It's just a graphic decision, but you can use them. And I think this is a good size. So if you go back here, you will see you have size control over here. I think 48 is good. You can even have your custom size over here and even give it a background if you want to. For the color, I would then put it on this one and I'll reduce it a little bit. However, like I said, I felt that this one is a little too boxy for what it should be. And this icon always has a hover effect. So let me also just go over here and give the hover. Right, okay, good. What I had decided to do instead was to use PNG, and that's why I showed you the noun project at the beginning. I bring in my own icon, and you can do that either as a PNG or SVG. Currently, you can use SVG within Brizy. I'm going to stick to the PNG. So what I'll do is I'll have to bring in an image element. Go to add elements, image over here, click there, click here, and then go over here, click, and there you see. I like those a little bit more rounded. Of course, when you bring it in like this, you don't have control over the color. So you have to set this color in the application that you're working with. I'm going to drag it like so. And that's it. So I prefer this. Maybe I can make it a tiny little bit smaller. And if I want control over the size, you go over here and you can see I've put it on 7% of the size and the height. You can do it here. But in this case, I'm just dragging again and gauging it with my eye. Let's remove the icon up here. Click on the icon and delete. And this is the one that I want to be using. Under this, let's bring in a quote. Go to add elements and text. Drop it. Let's grab some lorem ipsum for that. This looks like a... Let's give it a little bit longer. Yeah, don't think too much. Okay, here. Let's grab this one. Copy that. Go back to our home. Triple click to select all the text. Control V. I'll center align it first. And then I will also put it in italics. Now I'll go to T. And what I will do here, I will give this what we'll call a heading 2. Now, go to our styling, heading 2, put it on Cormorant Garamond, and then let's give it also double size to 72. Oh, 742, that's a little too big. 72. Put it on normal, reduce my line height, and you see it looks better, except you can see that's a little too much, but we'll fix that in a short while. And I'm going to put my letter spacing on 0. Now, I want this to be a little bit more squashed and run into 3 lines. And the way I will do that is that I will put space on the left to move all the text in, and space on the right, move all the text to this side. There are a number of ways you can do this, and one you can do is to go to the text element, click here on settings, go to more settings, and then you see padding here. And by dragging the slider, you will see how that moves. But I've decided to give me more control. I'm not going to use the text element for that. Instead, I will use the column. So go here to the column, click on it, and then go to settings and more settings. And then you have the padding over here, and you see here is the right, and here is the left. If I grab the right like this, it moves it more inward. And let's put it back on 15. It was on 15. Click on it and type in 15. Instead of using pixels though, I'm going to put it on percentage, which means this padding applies to the column. So from the left to the right is considered 100%. If I say move it in from the right 15%, it will apply 15% over here. And all I'll do on the left is the same 15% and it moves it in as well. Now look at this. Let's squash it a little bit more. So I'm going to put in 20% on the right and 20% on the left. Just make sure that you keep it constant. And it seems that with this text, I'm just not going to get it into 3 lines, but that's going to be fine. So we are going to keep this one at 2. Click on it again. I want to change the color over here. And now I think this quotation mark's too small, so let's make it bigger. Great. And then we give the author a name down here. Go to add elements, grab the text, and we put it inside the column. Triple click your text. We're going to call this one Ted Bundy and put it in the middle. And what shall we give this one? Let's call it a below title. We can give it, where's the below title? I think there's something like that. Above title, custom. I was sure there was something like let's call it subtitle. Okay, I'll call it subtitle. Put it on subtitle. Then we go over here. Subtitle. There. Put it also on Garamond. And I'm going to put this on normal. Line height reduced to 0. Keep the letter spacing. And then for the size, I'll increase that, I think, to 24. Click on it. Put it on italics. And then over here, let's use this color. We need space again here. Let's grab a spacer, add elements, grab the spacer and drop it. Little too much space, so click on it and you can drag here with this handle to give it the space you want. If you want to input specific values, go to the settings and over here. You can see it's on 38. So if you say I'm a 40 man, then you just type in there 40. Let's give a little bit more space at the top and space at the bottom. Now with this kind of basic minimalistic design, the great thing in Brizy is that when you switch over to tablet and you switch over to mobile, you're going to see it already looks very good. And that's almost the kind of limitations that you're always going to get with tablet and with mobile, is that if you make very complicated la-di-da bells and whistles and the latest fashion designs on your desktop, you will have to do much more work when you go into tablet and mobile. Let's go down to tablet, Control minus, Command minus. You can see here, it does look actually pretty good. All I'm going to do is change the size of this one. So you click on it and remember you go over here, hitting 2. Make sure you click here and then let's increase the size to 60. See if that looks okay. And then line height, bring it down and we put it on normal. And here, I don't mind that it's stretching all the way from left to right. I think it looks fine. And then over here, just reduce that a little bit. Click on Ted Bundy, and that was subtitle. Go to subtitle, click on mobile or tablet. Let's make this also 24. Was it 24? I cannot even remember. Line height, reduce that. And right. Good. And then Control Command minus to go down to your mobile display. Click on it. Heading 2, right over here. Let's put that at, I'm guessing 54. And on mobile, I think 3 lines can suffice. Let's put it down there. Now, I put it on 1, but from a typography viewpoint, if you look here, you will see the Q that goes down and the L that goes up, and these little ascenders and descenders, as we refer to them. This is not good styling. When you see them come this close or almost touching to each other, you need to go and add a little bit of space, right? So I'm going to put it on 1.1. I think 1.2 can also work. Yeah, I think that works. Over here, let's reduce that. Click on Ted Bundy again. That's our subtitle. And then over here, cell phone. Let's also put him on 24. We keep him on 24 to make him legible, not eligible, legible. And then for cell phone, I'm just going to add a little bit more space again. Let's update that. And then we go to our front end again. I'm going to Control Command plus, tablet, one more. And then we can go and preview it. And we do that trick again with the F12 to see how it will look. F12, right? And this is on an iPhone X. Are you happy with this, Nancy? Nancy says yes. And then if you go to your iPad, you can also have a look at that. Nancy again concurs. Right, so F12 to get out of it. We've already gone a third through the site. Things are looking good and we're enjoying it. Nice, right? Close out this tab. We're back in the builder. And now we're going to bring in those services that we will connect here later. Add a new block. Add a blank block. And for this one, I'm going to go to my block settings over here. And for settings, I'm going to put my width on full. You'll need to do this every time you want to have an image extend all the way to the left of the screen, or on the right, or across the entire area when you put it over a block. Let's bring in the image here on the right. Click plus, image, drag it in. Click on the image, go here, image, and it's this one, the snacks. Yep, bring in the snacks. Let's see how that looks. And with this focal control point, you can decide which part of this image you want more of, and I'm going to go for this one. Now, I don't eat shellfish, but it looks yummy. I guess it looks yummy. If you're a shellfish eater, I'm pretty sure you're going to, looks good. Now, why is it not going all the way here to the left side of my monitor? And the reason is because there's automatic padding applied whenever you work within a column. So we have to remove that. Click here on the column, go to the settings and more settings, and you will see over here it's on padding, and there's padding applied to the top, right, bottom, and left. I don't need any of that padding. So what I'll do is I'll click here to link them all, and then it goes to 15. I'll just grab my slider, drag it all the way to the left to get it at 0. So now you see it's all the way here. There is still a little bit of space here at the top and the bottom between the image and the column. If that is important to you and you want to have it stretch all the way to the column, the way to get rid of that is to go to the image settings, and then more settings, and you will see that there is a margin applied at the top of 10 pixels and a margin at the bottom of also 10 pixels. These are default settings. And you may sometimes say, but why? Why you don't give me 0, 0, 0? Actually, there is a design concept behind Brizy that if you were to bring in columns and you drag in these images, the spacing between them will always amount to around 10 or 15 because of all the areas that you are using. So if this matters to you, you just, again, link them all and you drag them to 0. But I have no purpose in doing that. So I'm going to leave that extra space at the top. It is absolutely of 0 consequences for me. Let's go back to our page then. Click on the page. And over this side, I'm going to bring in some information. Go to Add Elements. And I'll bring in a text element and triple click in the text element. And then on caps, I'm going to call this functions. Now, the great thing about the styling that we had done earlier is that if I go to typography now, I'm going to call this above title. And the styling that we had done up here is now automatically applied here. That's pretty neat. You still have control over the color. That's independent of the styling. So if I want to have a different color for that over here, I can do it. Next, I'm going to bring in my heading. Go to Add Elements, Text. And I'm going to call this Entree, Snacks. And not caps, E-I-T-R. And then what is that? Oh, there is 0. Yes. Entree, Snacks. And then here I'm going to go to typography. I'm going to put it on heading 2 because we've already styled that. The only thing I will need to do then is put it on italics. I want to change the color too. Click on it and let's use this color here, make it a little bit darker. Under this, we bring in our text. Let's grab some lorem ipsum. Maybe that's too much, but we can delete later. Triple click to select all the text. Control Command V. Just put a full stop there. And this one, text by default comes in at paragraph. But you can see paragraph default is currently set to overpass. So we need to go also and style this. Go over here to our styling, paragraph, and put it on Montserrat. And I think 16 is okay. That's normal for body text when we work with websites. 1.9, even the letter spacing, all of this I think looks fine. Maybe I want to increase it a little bit more if I put it on medium. Yeah, I'm going to put it on medium. Okay, this is not looking good. And to give me a better idea of what I'm working with, I want to first make some changes here. I want all of this to be center. So you go to your column over here, click on that, settings, and then over here, put your content in the center. We're going to add space on the left and on the right. So you go to more settings for that, and that will be done with padding. So I'm going to put it on percentage. Let's work here with the left for this side first. And I'm going to just click on percentage. 15%. Let me see. 25%. 25 is maybe pushing it. Let me see. No, I like 25%. Let's go back to our column. And then I'm going to put the right also on 25%. 25%. Let's see if it plays out okay. Yes, I think it looks fine. Let me just reduce a little bit of text here so we only have 3 lines. Delete that. And the next thing I'm going to do is bring in a button for people to download the PDF. Click here on the plus and button over here. And click on that. And then I'm going to double click on the text, caps lock, and say download brochure. But I want to use different settings for this download. But let's first style it. Let's go over here to the button, and the size is irrelevant because when it goes to fill, I'm going to click here on no fill. And suddenly everything goes away because the text is set on white. Click on that. Let's go over here. And the first thing we're going to do is click on the text and put it on this color over here so we can see where that is. And then let's also align it. I click here. All I get to the left. Nice. And let's go back to the text because when people hover over it, click here on hover, they will need to be able to see it. So I'm just going to keep it the same text. Ooh, that's background. Didn't want to do that. Let's take that away. So go to text. Right. I want to, though, not use this formatting because this formatting for the button is the one that we had applied up here. So you remember that button styling. If you go here to your T for typography, it's put on button. I want to change it, but maybe I want to use it again in the future, make changes to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a custom style for this button. Let's call this download button. And to do that, I first have to go and create the custom style. Go to your styling here on the sidebar. Scroll all the way. You don't? Yeah, well, where you see add new here, click on that. And then if you scroll down, you will see now it says new style number 10. And this is the custom style that you've just created. To change the name, I'm going to triple click on it and type in download button. So I will know this is the styling that I want to use for my download button. Before I start making changes here, I want to see it in real time. So to do that, I go back here, click on download brochure. Go to T for typography, go to typography, and now when you scroll all the way down, you will see your custom one appear here, download button. Click on that, and now it's over here. Now I go and do that styling so I can see how it will look. All the way to the bottom, click on it, put it on Montserrat, and I'm going to reduce this to 14. Leave it on medium, but I'm going to increase my letter spacing to 2, something like this. I'm going to make it even smaller. 12. This is the effect that I want. And I'm going to put my line height on 0. I like that. Nice. Let's make a few changes still to this button. Click on the button up here and then go to the icon. I'm going to change the icon, but let's first change the icon position. I'm going to put it on the left. And then over here, I'm looking for something like a download. I remember I was looking for a line and I couldn't find a line. Let's go to glyph. Let's look for download. And this is the one that I had used, but I like this one as well. Oh, this one. Let's use this one. Okay. See? Change your world. Alrighty. Yeah, there we go. Download brochure. It looks pretty cool. Yep. I think the space is too much. So let's just reduce that space. I'm going to go to the column settings, more settings, and then here on the left. Currently it's at 25. Let's put it down to 20. And that makes it just a little bit better. Okay. Now you will see that there is white space at the top and also at the bottom, but this is part of the design. So I actually want to leave white space. What I will do though is at the top, I will grab my slider here and I will reduce that as far as I can. 15 pixels is fine. And then let me see, also reduce a little bit here. So we have this closer to each other. Let's go have a look at how this will display on tablet. Control minus. Ooh, okay. Now When it comes to tablet, I want to tell you decisions, decisions, decisions. Because you can do it like this with your image here on the left and the right. Or you can grab this and put your image all over that. And then you have this here at the bottom like so. And this is actually pretty cool. And you know what is the best part? You almost have to do nothing. What you can do though is if you want the image to extend all the way, let's go to our block over here, go to settings. You will see there's padding on the left and the right. So we have to remove that left and right, remove that padding. And then you go to this column, settings, and then again, you remove all the padding like so. And there you go. Now it stretches the entire margin. So then for this one here at the bottom, you have to give it a little bit space. So we go here to our column, settings, more settings, and then let's put it on 5% for the 5% for the right and also 5% for the left. Let's see how that will look. That's not enough. Let me see. Okay. 5. Let me do it again. 5. Interesting. Let's put it on 6. 6. Interesting. Little bug definitely in there. So let me also put that one on 6%. Okay. Now we had said, if you click out here, I think everything is fine. Maybe add a little bit of space here at the top. So we'll do that. Add a little bit of space here at the top. So go to the column settings, and then at the top here, just increase that until you think it looks fine, which is 15 pixels for me. We had styled these 3 previously, actually only these 2. So they are fine. The other 2 that we have to make sure will look good for our tablet is the paragraph and then this new download style that we had created. Let's go first to the paragraph, styling, and then paragraph over here. Make sure you select tablet. And 15, I'm going to put it on 16. I think I want it a little bit bigger, and we had it on medium. So I'm going to put it on medium as well. Line height at 1.6 is fine. This is good. And then let's go to our styling at the bottom for the download button. Select tablet, and let's reduce it also to 12. And then it was on normal. We're going to reduce our line height, letter spacing. That's fine. Let's click here, and then we go to our button, and over here for our width, I'm going to put that all the way to 0 so that it can move here. You see what I've done there? I want it like that. Then command minus to go to our cell phone. This actually looks pretty good for a cell phone. We can do the same like we had done. Let me go up. We can extend it all the way, and let's do that. Control minus. So the first thing we need to do is to make sure there's no padding on the block. So go to the block settings, and then over here, the padding, connect everything, and then reduce it to 0. Then we go to the column for the image, and you see the padding is already at 0. Interesting. It wasn't. So I linked it, some glitch there. After I linked it, it jumps to 0. And then the image, I'm going to leave it like that. So then we have to go to this column to apply some padding. And what I'll do is I'm just going to apply uniform padding all around like this. Let's put it on 24. That's good. Let's see how that looks. And then we have to do the same again here with these 2. So I click on our paragraph. No need to click, but I keep saying that. And then select in the styling, go to your mobile device. And I'm going to put it on 16 again and put it on medium. And then for the download brochure, we go down to download button, cell phone, take it down to 12. There. And then line height, I'm going to reduce to 1. Letter spacing. Actually, there's no effect on the letter spacing. Wonder why is that? But I'll put my letter spacing for good measure on 3. Little glitch there. Click again here and then go to the button. And custom setting, and for the width, reduce it all the way. Right. We need to add a document here to download, which can be any PDF or actually anything. If you know how to do that, let me show you how to do that. Let's go back to the top, Control plus, and one more Control Command plus to get here. I'm just going to save, Control Command S. To add a link then to this one, to download, we're going to click on this button, and over here when you see link, we're going to bring in a URL to download that file. And this is very easily done in Brizy Free. If you use Brizy Pro, it's even easier. It's as sweet can be, but you are using Brizy Free in this instance, so you have to follow the following procedure for this. Let's go back to our WordPress administration panel at the bottom and go to Dashboard. Go to our media, click on that, and we have to bring in a PDF. Making a PDF is actually quite simple, especially if you have Word. I'm just going to make a random one. So what we'll do here, let me just make this bigger quickly. Okay, so this is our PDF. And then I'm going to save it. I'll click here on More Options. And then here where it says Save as Type, I'm going to choose PDF. And there's many ways you can make a PDF. Let's not get technical and go into that. But this is if you want to quickly do one in Word, you do that. And there's your PDF. Right, now when we jump back, I'm going to bring in a PDF here. So I grab my Finder or my Explorer and simply click and drag and drop it there. How do I link that one? So I click here on the document and you will see here it says Copy Link. Now this thing sometimes works or sometimes doesn't. You see when the little hand appears, it's supposed to, when I click on Copy Link, to copy that link. What you do is you click in here and you triple click to select everything, Control Command C. Maybe it works for you. I haven't gotten it to a point where I can just click here on Copy Link and it copies. Doesn't work for me. Right, so you've copied it. It's in your clipboard. Close out here. We go back to our homepage. Let's just click here to the front. This is what we've done so far. And then you just up here in the WordPress toolbar, select Edit Page with Brizy. Scroll down, click on Download Brochure, link, click there, Control V, and you don't have to select any of these and say Update. Let's go to the front end and see if that works. So if somebody comes to your site, Entree Snacks, of course I want to know more. Click on Download Brochure, and it will download the brochure for you. Very good. We've done that. Right. Now we're going to basically just copy this 2 times and then give the other services that we will be working with. To do that, go to the block over here, duplicate the blocks. You have these 2 blocks here, but we're going to switch them around. And to do that, I'll go to this column, click up here, and then drag it. And hopefully I can see here on the left. If I cannot, let me drop it. No, it didn't work. I remember it worked the other way around. So let me go to this one instead, right? Go up here, click on it. You will see the little moving handles. Hold and drag. And aha, now I see the blue line over here. So you see that faint blue line on the right, drop it, and you see it has switch sides. And you can decide, do you want to make huge changes here? Do you need a little bit more space here, a little bit more of that? But essentially, no, you don't. Let's change our image first. Click on the image, go to image, over here, delete it, click on that. And then we bring in this one, select. And for these images, I will leave you the links on FreePick for all of them that you can go check it out. Sometimes many of them are free, so then you can use them just to test. Of course, you cannot use them for commercial purposes, but you can play around with them. And now the great thing is, because we've set all of this up, we have to only change the content. So I'm going to click there and I'm going to type in caps for everyone. Triple click here, health options, not caps. And then this one I'm going to leave the same, and it's going to be the same download brochure, right? Ooh la la, it's looking already like the way it should be. And then we're going to bring in another one here, but I'm going to duplicate this one because it's exactly the same. Go again to it, duplicate it, and to bring it to the bottom, go over here to the sidebar, click on Reorder Blocks. And you will see those blocks that we have created, it generates the thumbnail. So this is the one that we've just duplicated. Click and drag it below this one. Now it's below here. Let's change the image. Delete this one. We bring in this massive platter. I've had breakfast and I've had 2 cups of coffee, so at least I can look at this food and I'm not getting hungry at all. And again, you can change a little bit the focal point if you want to. Almost looks like biltong, but I know biltong cannot look like that. What is that? Smoked? No idea. Let's change the content here on the right. Triple click, in caps, all events. Triple click and then no caps. Great selection. Same thing that we have here. Now the only thing is we need to go and have a look at how all of this will look on tablet. We had styled this one for tablet, remember? Then we just copied these two, so they should all look more or less the same, but you never know. So let's go down to our tablet. I always say down because it's Control minus, and we see how that looks. So here we have the first one, and then for the second one, now this column is above this column. And the reason for that is because we changed the order when we were working at the top. Now the benefit is these two columns are in the same block. And if you then go to the first column and you click here on it, you will see this two little arrows. This is a great feature that allows you to reverse the column order within a block. If I click on this, you will see that the image now jumps to the top and the text is here at the bottom. So you can see now it looks exactly like the one at the top. The only thing is we've got all this space here. So what I'll do is I'll go to this one. I'll drag that down and then I'll do the same for this one. And I'll leave this one here at the bottom. But now we don't have to make any changes to our text here. Perfecto. Ooh. Looking good. Then Control minus to go down to our cell phone display, and we have the same thing that we have here. Because of the column orders here, these two appear now first. Again, you have that same great feature. Go to the first column over here, click on it and reverse them. No changes that we need to make there. Let's go back to the desktop display. Save our work, Control Command S. Preview. And I think anyone who comes to this site is immediately going to understand what's going on here. You're going to have normal, the normal stuff that you have at a catering, but what you want to present on this site is the exquisite, extraordinary delicatessens and things that you do that's not normal, like the entree snacks, that's so wonderful. And then the health options there, that's guacamole. Ooh, I love guacamole. Every time I'm at a lounge at the airport, it's tacos and guacamole and salsa for me. And then afterwards on the airplane, of course, I regret that. And then look at this. Okay, so you totally get the idea of how this site should look. Let's go and test it with F12 on your keyboard, and it will take us immediately into what it was previously. What do you see here? You see that it is squashed because this is an iPad Pro. Now again, it's decision-making time. Do you think this looks bad? I don't. No, I don't. I think I like it. Let's switch it into landscape mode. Again, you see here it goes into 2 lines, but I like it. Even there it's 1 line and here it's 2. I love it. So I'm not going to make changes to that. No need to go into those small things. I say that, but I never do it. Let's look at the iPhone X. Right? Perfect. F12 to get out of it. And we're back here. And now it is time for testimonial time. Close the front end, back into the builder. I'm going to do a few things here and you'll understand the madness in a short while. The first thing I'll do is build out the testimonial. So let's bring in a new blank block and I will remove 1 column, delete here by right-clicking. And then over here, I'm going to work out on this one. Let's bring in text. Triple click the text and let's bring in some more lorem ipsum. And then we paste it, Control V, Command V. That's a little too little. Let me get a little bit more. This guy wanted to say 2 things, 2 sentences. Control V with a full stop. And I'm going to center align it. Now let's see if we put it on one of the headings we've already created. Heading 1, oh, that's way too big. Heading 2, I think heading 2 is fine, and then I can remove that. Now this is the only problem at the moment with the styling because I want to keep it on italics every time. But the styling does not grab italics. That's a pity. So I need to put it here on italics again. I changed the color, put it on this darker color, and I think that's fine. I can make it a little bit smaller if I want to, but I'm going to leave it like that. And now I want to turn this into a slider, and in Brizy, even in the free one, you can make what we call block sliders. Just absolutely awesome. You go over here to the block, you go down all the way, and you say, make it a slider. But wait, Peter, wait, don't do it yet. The reason is that if you are going to create a second, a third, and a fourth slide, and you want them to look consistent, you also need to make sure that they are going to look consistent when you go into tablet and when you go into mobile. If you create them now and you go to tablet later, you're going to run into a little few issues. Just follow what I say, do what I do, don't do what I say, don't do what I do. But I'm going to do it, so also do what I do. Let's style this perfectly first. And one of the things that we forgot here is actually the person who's speaking. Let's put a spacer under it. And then we bring in the name text. And this one we're going to call Jeffrey Bundy. And what was the one that we used? Subtitle. Subtitle is good. We put him in the center. We also italicize him. And let's reduce this a little bit. Okay. Right. So now we go into our tablet. Go Control minus to see if it looks good here. And that's where I want to make changes. So what I'm going to do here, and even though I put it on that heading, I'm not going to go and make the changes here because it's going to affect everything. So I'm just going to change it here. Let's put it down. What is that? 38. Let's see 38. 38 is fine. Going to reduce the space here. And then Control minus, click here on the typography. Let's make it 24. 24, and let's put it on normal. 24 is a little too small. Let's also put it on 36. Okay, and also reduce this. Right. Now go back to your desktop and now click here. Go to block, make it a slider and click on that. And the moment you do that, you will see there's two dots, navigation arrows on the left and right. And now it has copied this block and made a second one. So click here on the second dot and it will do this. Everything looks exactly the same. So we'll change a few things. Let's change it. Let's take some text out of here just to make it look different. All right. And change the name to Samantha. You know, this is a family thing. They support each other apparently. And then we go to the next one. Let's change some things here as well. And we can make this Tiffany. Jeffrey, Tiffany, Samantha, Bundy. Right. Oh, no. This is still, I made a huge mistake now. Right. That is actually our first slide. So by doing this, I've just changed the first slide. So we still only have two slides. I want to add a third slide. If I want to add this third slide after the Samantha slide, make sure it is selected and then go up here to your block settings and just click duplicate. And you will see now there's a third dot. Click on that. And now we change this one to Jeffrey. Okay, hope I didn't confuse you too much. I've got three slides over here. And if I wanted to add a fourth slide, I do the same. I just go there and I click on duplicate. And let's call this William Bundy. But then later I think, oh boy, 4, it's just too much. 3 is better. And then to delete this one, let's say I want to delete Jeffrey instead. Make sure you select the one that you want to delete. Go up here and click delete. It won't delete the entire block. It will only delete that slide that you are on. Now I want to have at the top that says testimonials. But do you understand the problem I'm going to run into? If I were to put testimonials here at the top on this thing, every time it slides, it's also going to slide. And that's not what I want. I want it like a header. So to do that, I'm going to bring in another block. So go here between these two blocks, click on the plus and bring in a blank block. And I delete by right click, delete. And then over here, bring in text. And I'm going to triple click to select everything. Caps lock, I'm going to type in customer reviews. And then I'm going to center align it. Go to typography and put it on above title, that one that we've used previously. And now all I'm going to do is click here and reduce that. Let me see. Yeah, that looks good. So we've got it there. And the next thing I want to do is add a little bit spacer at the bottom. Now, again, if I click here and drag, I'm actually extending the space to the entire block. You can do that, but I've found just adding a blank block at the bottom actually is much better. Now, these columns are empty columns. So in fact, they're not going to have any effect on your page. So what I will do is just click here, and we can see later how that will work. You can bring in a spacer if you want, and then you can align it with the spacer. So let's do that. There's my spacer in there. I'm going to do that, give that kind of space. Let's save this and go view it on the front end, and then we have to come back and just go have a look at how it looks in our tablet. I just want to see how this looks. Scroll down to the bottom. Come lazy load, don't be so lazy. And there you go. So this is pretty nice. You can make this, of course, much, much bigger if you want to make this title bigger. But here we have a thing, and we forgot about that. I want this to autoplay. I want these slides to autoplay. So let's go back to our back end. And then over here on the slider block, go to your slide settings. And now you will see slider. Click on it and autoplay indeed. And you have the control over the speed. Let's make it a little bit shorter at 2-second intervals. Before we go and look at that on the front end, let's see what we've done on the back end. Control minus. And then over here for this custom review, click and drag to remove that. Bring that closer. And I think this is okay, though I don't like that there. So what we have to do, go here to the settings and then the padding at the bottom. Let me see if I increase that. Okay. Let's put it on 75. Now this is what I've done for Samantha. So if you see, if I click now to William Bundy, it doesn't honor that space that I've added there. And to do that, if I right click now, it's like a new block. So I have to go in here and also just give that 75. And this is what I had tried to avoid earlier, but unfortunately couldn't. So just be aware of this. I tried to do that styling at the beginning, but I failed. And even with these arrows, you can see we have a problem here. So if I come down to this text over here, I'm going to give some spacer on the left and the right. Let's click here on settings, more settings, deselect our padding, and then I'm going to apply, let's say 10% on the right, put it on percentage, and 10% on the left. Okay, you see that looks much better. Let's see the rest. This one is fine. This one is fine. This one's got more text. But I think we can do the same, right? I think we can do the same. Let's also do that. See if I click here, copy. Right click and paste styles. Yep. And right click and paste styles. I did that very quickly. Let me show you again what I did. This is the style that I want to use, the 10% on the left and the 10% on the right. So what you do is you just, in this element, right click and you click on copy. And this will copy the styling, not the content, only the styling. So I had applied the padding on the left and the right. And then what I do after that, I go to this one, right click on it, and then say paste styles, and it will add the 10% on the left and the right. Here at the bottom, let's bring in that a little bit. Here, this is our, we will fix this when we bring in content below it. Let's have a look at how this will look in mobile. So here we have the same thing again. Unfortunately, again here, the block doesn't have copy style. So for the block, go to settings and we move these dots first. Let's see where we get. This is also 75. Let's go to the next one. Settings, and this is for the block settings, 75. Next one, block settings, 75. Right, and then we look at the text. So here we have this text again. What we want to do is add some padding on the left and the right. Click on the text, more settings, delink the padding sides. Let's put it on percentage first. Let's put it on 10% to see how that will look. Over here, yeah, so that's good. Let's put another 10% for the left. Alrighty, and then what we do is right click within this text element, click on copy, then go here, right click, paste styles. And if you hear a scratching sound, My dog is trying to scratch through the carpet. I don't know why dogs do this. She just gets up and then she's trying to dig her way to China. Maybe she wants to go help there. You have nothing, Toki. Stop it. Right, and right click here and paste styles. Let's go to the desktop, Control plus, Command plus, Control plus, Command plus. Here we are, and we save. Now, I want to go view it on the front end, but I'm not going to do it yet. I will bring in the next section first. That will give me a better idea of how this will look when I've got something here at the bottom as well to even that out. This next one is a very nice one. I think this is like if you were to go to school, you will tell a teacher, hey, can we do that? Can we do that? Because that one is the easiest to do. I'm going to delete one column here, delete it. I can actually delete this column as well. So we have no column here. And we're going to bring in a background image. Go to the block settings, go to your background and click on image. And this is the one with the wine glasses that I have over here. And we are going to apply a parallax effect. And that reminds me that I actually applied a parallax effect to the header. So after this, we can go and change that. Parallax over here, and we're going to go for fixed. So you see, it's a reveal effect. That's what fixed does. And it doesn't really matter this, but you can play around with the focal. But this is what we want to do here. Now, to give it more space, you can click here and drag at the top and the bottom with the padding. But I'm going to bring in a spacer. And then I'll do like that. Click on my spacer, and I'm just going to drag like that. I don't want the whole thing, just a little bit like this. What is the setting for that? 295. So let's make it a nice round 300 pixels. Now we have that parallax effect. Let's go to the top while we are here and go to our hero background and also put this on fixed, right? So there you have that. Makes a huge change. Scroll down to the bottom and update our work, Control Command S. And now let's go view it on the front end. Just going to click this one that's already open and refresh this page. Right, so everything is honky-dory here on the desktop view. F12 on your keyboard. F12, monsieur. Okay, and this is the thing that, like I've mentioned to you, you see there's no parallax effect on cell phone. Many people still want that feature to come in. But I think here, customer reviews, this looks fine. I think a little bit too much space here, so we can remove that. Let's also see on iPad Pro. Oh, this is maybe too small. Right, so maybe we need to increase that one. And there is too much space at that top. So that's things that we have to change. Like F12. Let's go back to our builder. We are over here. So what I'll do, and you see that's why we've got the spacer. Let's go Control Command minus, and then over here for the spacer. I'll click on the spacer, and then I will disable it on the tablet to remove that space. And then over here, I'm going to manually increase this. Otherwise, it looks a little bit too weird. And we can reduce that a little bit. Personal taste, I would say. Over here, where is that spacer? Over here. Let's also disable that spacer. And reduce that space there as well. I think that's fine. All right. Jump back to our desktop. Are we still together? It's an expression that we often use in training here in South Africa. Are we together? Are we together? Right? You know, let's psych everybody up. Let's bring in Chef Handsome Bundy. We're going to do that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'll go to this one over here because I want the image on the right and I want some text here. I'm going to duplicate that. So I'll click on my block settings, duplicate. Then I go to reorder blocks. Click over here, and this is the one that's still generating the thumbnail. Wait for it, wait for it. And there we go. Click and drag it now to the bottom. So this one is now at the bottom. Let's unbalance it a little bit. So I'll click here on the middle bar of the column, and you see here a heads-up display. I'm going to put this at around 60-40%. And let's change things on this side first. What I also want to change here is this is too much white space. So let's first go and change this. Let's go to our column settings, and then more settings. And we see that the right is set to 25%. That's too much. Let's take it down to around 5% and see 5% is fine. Let's put it on 10% instead. I think 10 is a little bit better. Let's change our content over here. Why choose us? Put it in caps. Why choose us? And then triple click here, not caps, and put this one on Chef Handsome Bundy. And then we're going to put text over here. Now what we can do is you can bring in more text. Let's do that. Let's bring in different text here. And we're going to say something about his pedigree. Where did we get Chef Handsome Bundy? Let's close this one so we don't get confused. Triple click to select all this text and Control V. And I want to bring in 2 paragraphs here. So to do that, simply go here to this line and press Enter Return on your keyboard. I want to add a little bit of space between these two. So while I'm in this paragraph here, anywhere, just put your cursor anywhere here and click on it. Now you go to the settings and you will see gap above. And I'm going to drag that like so. Let's put it on 16. And how you choose this number is usually associated with the size of the text. So if I go to the text, you will see it's on 16. So it's good also to put that on 16. And I'm going to remove the button here. I'm going to bring in his signature. So click on the button and delete it. And then we bring in an image. Drop it there. We see the thick gray line. Click on that. And then a signature here. You know, a signature. Man, if a signature doesn't convince you that this guy is the best and most handsome chef in the world, nothing else will. To reduce the size of this, just grab the handles here and do it like so. And then to reduce the space at the top and the bottom, you can grab this. And you see there, you start cutting it off. So I'll leave it like this. And now I'm going to just put it to the left. And I like this space there. So I'm not going to worry about this white space. If this bothers you, let me show you what you can do in this case. Go over here to your settings, more settings, and then you go to margin. Margin over here to your left margin, and you grab the slider and drag it as so. And I changed my mind. I'm going to leave it like that. Let's bring in the image over here. So I'm going to change this image, delete this one, and bring in Handsome Bundy. And we're going to make a few changes to Handsome Bundy. The first change I want to do is get this image at full height. But I also want to have space here on this side. So what I'll do is I click here like so. And then I've dragged it so you see space here on the left and the right. Let's align it now to the left. So this is the kind of effect I'm looking for with white space on the right. And now I want it to be full height. So you can click here and drag, or you can just go up here to the settings and you will see height, type in 100%, and it gives you the image at full height. Wow, and you know, sometimes when you work on this, you think, oh man, that's quite a mess. What is this guy thinking? And the moment you just put in like that one figure of 100% and it jumps like this, you're like, oh, I'm sorry I ever doubted you, JP. You're the kind of man, you know, that kind of thing. So here we have smiling, and man, what I would give for a smile like that. And look at that teeth. And I need to share a personal thing with you. I chipped my front tooth on Friday. Apparently that happens when you eat a lot of dry spaghetti all the time. It's something I should have known, but you know these things and still you do it. And so now my tooth doesn't really look good, and I'm flying out tomorrow, which is Monday. I'm flying out to New Jersey for 3 weeks. I don't have time to go to the dentist. Luckily, I'm not in pain, but I'm going to look very horrendous in the next few days. Yeah, pray for me. Right. Okay, so I want to bring space here at the top so I can drag it in like this so we can have a little bit of white space and then a little bit more here at the bottom. Give us this almost full frame. I like this. Chef Handsome Bundy, you make our day. Control minus to see how Chef Handsome Bundy will look on a tablet device. And I'm going to mess around. Now, why did this happen? And that's because of the settings we had set earlier here for the change around of this. We had done it previously up here, and that's why it is applying the same effect. It had reordered the column. So we're going to put it back, go to the column here, and put them again in this order. I want to have these two next to each other though. So what I'll do is I'll grab the handle here and I'm going to drag that to around 70%. 70, give me 70 today. Am I going to get 70? No. So 70.2%. And then I'm going to grab this one like so. and until it jumps to the top. Don't worry, don't look at the image. Otherwise, you're going to have long crocodile tears flowing. Keep dragging that until it jumps like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it like so and drag it down. And again, you are totally amazed at the wonder of Brizy. And you can decide how you want this to look. I need space here. This is a little bit too much. So let's go to this first column, settings, and then here on the right, it's currently at 6%. Let's put it on 10%. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay. But I think we need to have a little space on the right. So I'm going to also, let me see. I'm going to drag it in to give it white space here. Okay, I can still drag it out if I want. Let's do that. Extend it beyond. I think this is a little bit too squashed. So what I'll do is I'm going to put this on 60 and give Ted a little bit more real estate. He'll be happy about that. Okay. There we go. This looks much better. I can reduce the size here. Drag a little bit out more. And unfortunately, like I said, I cannot give you exact estimates of what I'm doing here. Exact estimate, is that even a... That's not right. Estimate isn't exact, right? I cannot give you estimates of what I'm doing here. This is something that you keep gauging with your eyes. And I know for many people, they just don't like that. They want to have the full control. I'm one of those OCD control freaks, and we use the word OCD so haphazardly. It's just that I really care about every pixel. You're not always going to get that. So you have to get used to looking at, checking it with your eye. But if you want to know the settings here, column on the left is at 60%. Column on the right then is at 40%, as close as 40 as I can get. And then if I go to my image and I click on the image, you will see my settings over here at 90% and 136%. That's no guarantee, right? You're probably going to try it with your image and it's going to look different. But play around with that. And the reason I did that is I wanted this little bit of white space here on the right. I could have also achieved that with the block. There's more than one way. Let's go look on it on mobile device. And in this case for mobile device, I want it to be the other way around. Again, we are faced with the fact that the order of the columns are reversed. So we go first to this column, click on the settings and reverse it back. And I'm going to leave it like this. Here, you're not going to squash those two columns, but what I'll do here with our good friend Bundy is I'm going to increase him all the way like this. Does it look good? Are you happy with him? Will you be happy to eat Chef Bundy's food? I'm pretty sure you will. Control, Command plus, let's get all the way to the top. And let's save our work. And let's get to the next section. And actually only 2 more sections to go, then we're done. Add a new block. Let's delete this one, this column, right click and delete. And then we're going to bring in text, triple click on that. In caps, I'm going to type your every need. And this is going to be our above title. On typography, go to above title and center it in the middle. Next, we're going to bring in our heading. So text again. And triple click to select everything, not caps lock. And this one is request your quotation today. I change it to quotation, center align it, and let's put it on heading number 2, my friend. And then italics and on this color over here. Okay, so that is our heading that we have created for this section. And now we create a form. Form is very, very important because we want people to contact us. So we click and drag the form, and within the column where you see the blue lines, the moment I drag here, I want to put it on that gray line, I drop it there. Let's put some space between these two before we look at the form. Drag it between the two and a little bit. Alrighty, let's begin over here. And I want to have this as a name. Now, if you know forms, you will be bored by what I'm going to tell you next, but let's have a quick overview of what a form is. This container that contains the information is called a field. And then this placeholder text is also sometimes referred to as a label. And each of these fields have different values. For example, if it's an email field, you can only enter an email in there. If you add a number in there, the form is going to tell you, buddy, you did something wrong. To make sure you work with the right things, you go here to the form toolbar all the way to the left where you see field, and there you have all the controls over field. And this is form 2. This is one massive feature in Brizy Free. I get goosebumps talking about it because I almost want to say, I don't know what they were thinking giving this away for free. This is pro features. There are forms on the market that you're going to pay 70 to 100 US dollars per year to get the abilities that you're getting for free. This is just mind-blowing. Right, so enough of that. Let's go and change a few things. I want your name here. The person who's going to contact me, I want your name. To change the label, the name of the field, double-click on that one. If it's a single word, you double-click. If it's a sentence, you triple-click. And then type in name, as simple as that. Then you go over here to the field, and you have to make sure that this type is now a text so that people can enter text, and that's what you do. I want this only to be half here, so 50% of this. Go to the settings of this field and you see width, and I'm going to double click and type in 50%, and now you see it goes down to 50%. Next to this, in this area, I want to put the email address. So I'll click on this one and then just duplicate it because it will keep the 50%. Triple click to select the name -1 and type in your email. Now you go again to the field and you put it over here on email. And when you see this required, it means if people want to contact you, they have to fill it in. Otherwise, it will not send. Here is a select field option. We're not going to use it. So if you click on it from the toolbar, click on delete. And then here, this is where people is going to send you the message. Double click on paragraph and type in your message. And to see the field, click here on field, you will see it's set to paragraph. The difference between paragraph and text is usually something short, like a name, a surname, that kind of thing, or a subject. And paragraph allows you to type a paragraph, right? And I think you need to require this. People just send you their name and the email. That's weird. So click here. You also want that required. Let's make some styling changes. To do that, you click here on typography, and this will apply to all the fields. So if I put it on Montserrat, you see they all change. 18, I think that's fine. Let's see if we put it on medium. Medium is a little bit better. Okay, let's go to the color. Let's put it on this one. So, this is background. Control Z, Command Z to undo. Background, I'm going to leave it. Text, select text over here. And let's put it on this darker color. And then you have border and shadow. And the other thing that you also have is that when people select it, they can have a different effect here with hover. Like I said, this is a straightforward site that we are creating here, so I'm not going into these. I'm keeping them as simple as possible. What I want to do there is I want to change the border though. I want a darker border. I'm going to use this color. Great. That's it. Let's go and style our button. Button, my friend. Click on the button, triple click, and type in send message. Let's style it from left to right. Let's say icon. No, I don't want the icon. Leave it like that. I think the size is fine. Spacing is fine. And what I want to do is I want to have no fill. Click on this one. And the corners, make sure that it's nice and sharp. And I'm going to put my border again at 1. I don't see this because of the color there, but I'll fix that soon. Let's go then to color. The background, I'll leave it on white. Text, put it on this color. And then the border also the same. And let's go to the hover. We do the same for that. For hover, we're going to use background, this one. Text, make it white. And border, this one. Okay. Then go over here to settings. And I'm going to reduce this to 25%. Now my button looks like this. Let's put the button on the right. And let's give a little bit space in the top and the bottom padding. So I click here on this button settings, go to the size, and then here I click on height. I can just increase that a little bit. And if you see that extra space here, that's usually to do with your typography. Right. Our form is nice. However, this form is meaningless at this moment, because if somebody were to come to your site and type in their name and their email and their message, and they click on send message, nothing is going to happen. So what you need to do in this case is that you need to go and activate that. So click on your button and you go over here to this little plug, click on that. And over here, we are going to use this one called WordPress. You set up everything here. And this is going to be as simple as when people fill in this form, where does this message go to? And that's why you see the little asterisks there. It shows you this is a required field. These rest, you can leave them empty, and we're going to do that but that little one, you need to give it an email. So currently this is my website's admin at Brizy20, etc., etc. But you can add your own email, your Gmail, your Outlook account, whatever, and you can add more than one email. So if you look here at the little bubble, it says just separate them by commas. But I'm going to stick to that one, and you simply click on continue and it will tell you done. Good job. Let's go and test this. Update our work. To the front end we go. Scroll down, and let's do this. This is probably Maria Bundy. She found her family online, m.bundy@killerinstincts.com. And then over here, hey bro, I want to order a meat platter. And then send message. Click on that. And then it says here, your email was sent successfully. And now you will get that within the email that you have used. But you'll also get it within the Brizy dashboard within WordPress. So let me go show you. Go into your administration panel over here. Click on that. And then here on the sidebar, here in the sidebar, you will see Brizy. And from here, you will see leads. So it will also capture that information. Here is the name. Hey bro, I want to order a meat platter. Everything is here. So you can also get all of this information here. It's not only within your own email, it's also over here. Let's close this. One thing I just want to also for you to note is that if you click here on send message, you'll also see the little link over here. Now, after I had submitted a message, it said here message sent successfully. That is called your success message. And you can type in anything here. So I'm going to say, you did it. It's on its way. It's on its way. And if somebody makes a mistake like, oops, something's wrong, try again. Right. So let's click out here. Let's update it. Go to the front end. Now, let's say you are like me and you didn't pay attention to the fact that this is a name and this is an email. So I'll type here maybe j.bundy@gmail.com and over here Jonathan B. And then over here, I don't type a message. So I've totally made mistakes. And I click here on send message. First of all, it's going to show me, hey, these things are wrong. You did it all wrong, right? So let's put an @ in there. So now I put an email here, b@john@gmail.com, and it's not going to, right? And I say send message. It's on its way. So I'm not going to get an error reading here because the fields will show me whenever I do something wrong. It's a great way to make sure people don't mess it up. Right, so there it is. It's on its way. That's how you change that over here. One of the things that I just want to point out quickly why I like using the theme Suki is with this kind of text that shows here, you have control over this within Suki. So if I wanted to change the font that is used for this text, I go do it within Suki. Go to your customizer. So I'll go to admin toolbar up here, WordPress toolbar. And within Suki, global settings, general styles, I'll go to body base. And then over here for the font, let's look for Cormorant. There's Cormorant and Garamond, right? And let's put the style on italic. And let's I'm not sure if that's going to affect, but let's see. Publish. Let's publish that. Close out here. And scroll down to our form again. Let's do it again. This time I'm going to say john@bundy.com. They're probably going to get an email from me. And then and send message. And if all goes well, it's on its way. Right. It didn't change it. Let me show you why it didn't change it. You have to activate that feature first. So let's go back to customize. And this is the Brizy integration. I totally forgot about that. David is probably going to hit me over the head with that. Here in the customizer, go down here to Brizy integration. Click on that. And then you say disable Brizy's reset CSS. Click on publish. Close out. Scroll down again. Apologies for that. john@bundy.com. Hello. And then send message. Let's hope it works. Yep, there you go. So you can see it has changed the font. It's even in italics. That's one of the great features within the Suki theme. And that's why I like to use Suki theme, especially if you're using it as free like we are doing here. It's a absolute great combination. We are almost done, but let's go have a look at our builder to first see how this will look in tablet. And usually it's going to look good in tablet. Look here at the button though. Click on the button, go to settings and increase the width to give it a little bit more space. And then we also go to mobile. Same thing, click on the button and give it a little bit more space. You can even for this one put the button in the middle. Yeah, let's keep it on the right. Good. To the top. Control Command S to save our work. And the last section for the day. Bring in a blank block, and I'm going to keep these two columns. I'm going to change the color a little bit to something gray. So go to the block, over here, colors, choose this gray, and I'll reduce it to around 25%. It's 24. 24 is good enough. Over here, let's bring in text. Triple click to select the placeholder text and type in follow us on social media. Media. I'm just going to use this once, so let's go and put it on Cormorant Garamond, and then let's increase the size. Let's see, 36. 36 is good, and then let's reduce the line height. Letter spacing I'll leave like that, and then all I'm going to do is put it on italics like so. Then over here I'll bring in some icons. I'll bring in a icon, one first, and we will style this. Click on the icon. Let's go and change the icon first. And over here under glyphs, I'm going to type in fishbook. And I will choose this one here. So we're going to do a little bit of styling to this one first. And I'm going to give it a background. I'm going to give it a fill background like so. I'll put it on square. But I will just make sure that my corners are squared as I like it so. But I do not want a border. So I'll put it like that. Let's see the size. And the moment I put the size, the border jumps in again, and I don't want that. So let's do that. Let's do this. And then let me increase that a little bit. Let's go back to the icon. And I'm going to, let's see the icon, 32. Let's make it 24. Type the icon in at 24. Okay, and then do the background. Let's reduce the border. Okay, good. So 5 pixel size over here. I know, I think a little bit more. Let's put that on 10. That's very squashed. Ooh, where am I? 10. That sneaky, annoying border keeps coming back. Right, so we've set everything up. Let's go to the color now. So over here, the background, let me change that first. Put it on this color. And then the icon, I'll put that one on white. And I like that. So let's also give it a hover. The hover will do the opposite. So the background we'll put on white, and then the icon we'll put on black. Let's see. So this is how it looks. And if people want to do that, they just hover over it. Again, you see that hover takes some time. Click on it, settings, more settings, advanced. And I'm going to reduce this to 250 around there. So it's a little bit faster when people hover over it. And then over here, click on the icon, then over here on link, and then link to, this is where you're going to put in your Facebook page or your profile, whichever you want to do that. So remember to put that in there, and then also select open a new window. So it opens a new window and that this one doesn't close out. But I'm not going to put in anything there. Now I'm going to simply duplicate this one. So duplicate it, and I'll do that thrice. Click on the second one. Let's change the icon. And this will be a Twitter icon. Third one, and remember to go change the link. Instagram. And the last one will be YouTube. Why? Why I don't see any YouTube? What am I doing wrong? YouTube. Ah, there we go. It was there. Okay, YouTube. And like I said, for each of these, you will go to the link and you will change them separately. If you think the space between them is too much or too little, simply click on any of these icons, go to the icon feature, and you will see spacing here at the bottom. The moment you duplicate an icon, this slider will appear, and then you can increase the spacing, or you can even do it like this. Ooh. Do I like that? Nah, let's add a little bit of space. There we go. Align them to the right, like so. And I just want to make sure that this text is also kind of in the center. So what I'll do for this column on the left, click on the column settings, and what we'll do, settings, yes, and put it in the middle. Slight difference, but I care. I care. Let's add some more space at the top and the bottom. And dare I say our page is finished. I'm saying that, but let's first clean it up a little bit. Control Command minus to look at it on our tablet. Let's give a little bit more space here. Let's add some space on the left and the right. Go to the block settings, and then padding. It's currently at 15. Let's make it 30 and 30. And if this happens, you just grab the slider and drag it. And then this slider, you grab it, drag it back. Okay. And then Control Command minus. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to center align it. Click on this one, center align it. Brilliant, and give it some space. And also at the bottom, a little bit of space. Jump back to desktop. Let's save our work. Control Command S. I'm nervous. Did we cover everything? I think we did. Preview. I think we did, right? We should have covered everything. I'm not adding a header. Oh, no. We still want to link this button to our services over here. Good. It's always good to go and do your flight checks again. But all in all, this is our page. Brilliant. Share it with your friends. Tell them to come and make use of your catering services. Bundy Inc. Should have called it Bundy Inc. Let's go back into the builder. Close this one out. Back to the builder and up here. So the point here is that when people click on this button here, it will scroll and it will bring them to the services area. Nothing magnificent, but that's what we want. So click on the button, and then on the link up here, you click on block. And now it's going to generate those thumbnails that we had also seen in the sidebar. And this is our service block. Simply click on it once. And when you see it is selected like this with a blue block, you know it is selected. If you click on it again, you will see that disappears. There's no more blue selection box. That means it's been deselected. So click on it again, and you will see it stays like that. Now it is selected. Go outside, update. Preview. Click on our services, and it's just so beautiful. Let's bring in a few animations here and there so you have an idea how animations work. Let's bring in animations for this. Go to the builder. I'm going to animate this entire block. So we click on the column, not block, column, and then settings, more settings, and then under advanced, you will find here entrance animation. There are so many you can choose from, and you can go through them. Let's say I'm going to use fade in up. This is the one that I used previously. And I'm going to drag the delay down to 0, but I'm going to make the duration a little bit smaller. So it's going to take, put it down 2 seconds. It's going to take a total of 2 seconds to enter, but the delay, once this page loads, will be 0 seconds. So it will immediately come in. And then, for example, we can bring in this image here. Let's go click on the image or the column, more settings, advanced, and then entrance animation. Let's say fade in. This should be fade in. I never know if it's fade in left or right. Let's say fade in left. Let's see. Yeah, fade in left. Click on this one. Should be fade in right. Fade in right. And there's fade in right big and fade in right normal. And this one is also going to be fade in left. More settings, advanced. And this absolutely is your thing. Now, working with clients are going to tell you, I want it to come flying in like, you know, it's a huge airport with airplanes landing all the time. I want that. It looks good. It drags the attention. Yes, it does. But it actually has almost zero purpose if you are accessing your site on a mobile device. So animations kind of go out the window, you know, the moment you go to mobile devices. And that's where you have to remember that a lot of people are accessing nowadays their websites strictly on cell phones. So is it worth it? Let's go have a look. Update, then go to the front, refresh this page. And it comes in, all function catering services for you. And then as we scroll down, entree snacks, oh la la, health options, and that's way too fast, right? You maybe want it to come in a little bit slower. Right, and I see I missed somehow that bottom. Let's go back to our column. What's going on here over here? More settings and the bottom. Oh, when did that happen? Okay, so I want this spacer at the bottom as well. I believe we are done. I believe we are done. And I hope that with this and all the mumbo jumbo talk in between, I didn't drive you into hysteria, and that there maybe were a few things that caught your eye, things that you didn't know existed in Brizy before. And I think for me at this moment, and I often see people say, I want this feature, I want that feature, I want this. We have become spoiled with all these la-di-da features that are available in many builders nowadays. But they are kind of redundant because of mobile devices. And one of the features that I've seen on quite a number of platforms is the ability to have a full page, like a slideshow. You have this entire, not a full page, a full monitor display, your full height. And then when you go one down, it's like flip, it flips like a slideshow. And it looks absolutely stunning on desktop devices. You have another one like this. It's got half image on the right and then text on the left in half. And as you scroll down, it's almost like it moves up and down. This one will move down, this one will move up. It's absolutely stunning on desktop devices, but they are absolutely impractical, horrendous, and very difficult to work with on mobile devices. So my advice, especially if you are a beginner and you want to make a website maybe for your craft shop, you have your own band and your band just want to have their own website, keep it straightforward, keep it simple, something in the way that I've done here, and it will make it much easier the moment you go for something like tablet and then also for mobile. It will just display much better and it's a much better user experience. You can't go wrong with what we've done here. Look at this. If you were to access this on your cell phone device, or a customer would, they know what the site is about. They get all the information here. They can download what they want to download. And if they want to contact you, they can fill in the form. Perfect. Magnifique. And that's it. That's a wrap. If this was useful, remember to give us a like, because that's what every person on YouTube is supposed to say. And if you want to know more about Brizy, follow the link in the description below. There's lots of new things coming out. I am privy to a lot of things behind the scenes. And I want to tell you, a lot of the stuff that I showed you today, I believe in 2 to 4 weeks, I'll probably have to redo this tutorial, because there's going to be out a lot of new ways of doing things, especially things under the hood. This is JP here at Learn Brizy Page Builder. Have a magnificent week. See you in the next tutorial.